Hi everyone, welcome to the Tuesday Tune-Up Supercars Racing at Miami. This is our first ever race in the Gen 3 car at the Miami Grand Prix circuit, and we've got a very classy field lined up for tonight. We've got a few key matchups with Chastity versus Jansen, and they've both got on the front row. This is the matchup. There's nothing between these two, and Paul Young and Lee Crowhurst on the second row of the grid. And we'll see another good battle between Roy Clark and Jay Brazier. They've been dicing each other a lot the last few weeks. There doesn't seem to be much between those two as well. So there's lots of interesting storylines that have come into this race that'll keep us pretty engaged. Now the engines are revving, so we're about to get underway. So Chastity and Jansen off. And the classic matchup, we missed out on them battling last night. Jansen lost a bit of ground early on, Chastity, but I can't see that happening tonight. And Jansen's off to a very good start. He's got the jump on a Chastity to this tight turn one. So they're going very, very close together. And so Roy Clark's got turned around in the first corner there. That's unlucky for Roy, so he might not be back in Jay Brazier tonight. We'll have to go back and see what happened there. But yes, Chastity and Jansen going very hard. Jansen's got the good line there, but yeah, Chastity's now got the inside running, and he'll have the inside running into this tight, decreasing radius left-hander, which takes plenty of practice to get the hang of. But obviously, even though it's the first day of this course, they've obviously done plenty of practice because they've all done very, very well. And Paul Young and Lee Crowhurst not far behind. But Chastity has held off Jansen early on to take the early advantage, and now he's going to be very hard to beat from here. So Jansen's going to have to come up with some tactics, and it may be pit related. As we saw last night, Jansen had trouble getting by a driver in front, and that cost him. Has he learnt lessons from that? This is a totally different track to Suzuka where we raced previously. But yes, Chastity in his normal position out in front of this group of drivers. This early start phase of the race. First go through that twisting, turning, chicane section. That takes some doing to get through there. But these guys obviously got plenty of practice early. I've been practicing all week doing the sit-up, and I'm not sure I've got the hang of it yet. So we come down the back straight into the hairpin that leads into some more undulating S's. It's very hard. This is a real modulation of the throttle section, this one. That's where you can see the lose traction so easily through here with these turns and the changes and the ridges in the track there. And Chastity's off flying now. He's got a good break on Jansen. We see Paul Young, he's going to stay with them as well. And Jamie Dyke into fourth. Jay Brazier's off to a good start. Just got past Lee Crowhurst. That's great racing by Jay. Had a message from Matt Morris today identifying Jay Brazier as one of the big improvers in the Gen 3 cars this season, and watching this, it's probably hard to disagree with. Cameron Grati off to a good start as well. It's good to see Cameron in front of Max and Louis Gomez. I don't know Louis Gomez. It's good to see some new names in here. Cameron Gilson and Sanjo Cherry. That makes up the field. So we've got Roy Clark. He's well back after the early spin and damage on the front. That's not great for Roy there. He's been racing super consistently of late and racing fantastically, but whatever happened to that turn one incident has given him some damage. That'll hold him back for the rest of the race. And go on further, drive it back. Peter Simons. He is at the rear of the field at the moment. So there we go. There's the first stages. We're a lap and a half into this 20-lap race. This is a course that's got lots of challenges, so Chastity probably is not going to roll away with it as easily as he normally does, because it's very easy to make a mistake here. It's just such a course. We've got so many different challenges and so many places where if you get your modulation of the throttle slightly wrong, you're going to go sideways and be in the fence, or at least turned around. So it's going to be a course of high concentration, and if Jansen can keep the pressure on Chastity, he might be able to sort of eke out a mistake. But no signs of that in the first two laps. Gee, Brazier is racing brilliantly. He's got past Jamie Dyke. I did not have that on my bingo card, that happening this early in the race. Jay's very tight around that corner. Yeah, I think he lost a bit of momentum by taking that corner so tight. Just let Jamie Dyke through. You don't take that corner that tight. You're going to come from the outside to make sure you get the best momentum up this long section. That turn 10, very hard to keep it out of the fence there. As the tyres get older, they'll take some more management because it really pushes into that outside fence as you go through there. Now we come through some S-bends into the chicane. I wonder when they designed this, they just wanted to annoy drivers. Was it just a challenge? I don't know. This section is a bit blind. They've got those little posts there to try and give you a guide of where you're going. But yeah, very bumpy, very twisty, very blind through there. Awkward section. The drivers are handling it well at these early stages. Dyke has now re-established himself over Brazier. Maybe Dyke made a mistake a little earlier that Brazier up to him, but then Brazier made the mistake by taking too tight a line for the entry into that back section. Cameron Garati's going really well. He's keeping pace with some very good drivers, so we want to see the level of improvement from Cameron. Roy Clark's made some good ground on Sandro Cherry, despite that damage. So Sandro has struggled there, so that's what I meant about the throttle modulation around here. It's so easy to lose control. He may have had enough. It was just too difficult to get a handle on because it's a tough track for this car. A lot of drivers enjoy the challenge. I did enjoy my week of working on the setup. I did hundreds of laps here, working out the tricks and all the traps, and certainly from a setup perspective there's a lot of trade-offs you had to make, trying to get the best result and obviously preserving tyre life because there's a lot of loads and a lot of these long corners. But I know what's happened to Paul Young. He seems to have fallen well back from the front two. No doubt made a mistake earlier on, as we see. We'll see plenty of mistakes in this race. Because Brazier has fallen back into the... into Lee Crowhurst. So Brazier's going to look a bit like a yo-yo at the moment, up and back. And those guys are... it's real key to... you've got to get this line right through here. Looks like they've done well. Just to maintain momentum through that. There's one angle you can take to keep the momentum through there. And not always hard to hit every lap. So I've got to say, I'm loving Cameron Garati's effort in these to keep up with these two guys. I haven't seen him close to drivers of this calibre for a while, so this is a big improved effort. Well done. Hopefully keep it up. Early stage of the race at this time. But if you can stick with Brazier and Crowhurst, that'll be some achievement. Cameron Gilson in the Snowy River. I think we're going to see, I read the other day, that's going to be the Dave Reynolds colour this year. Now that James Courtney's gone, we're going to see David Reynolds running around in those colours. But in a Mustang, I think. Max Wolf and Luis Gomez having a bit of a dice here. Looks like Max has got some damage as well. See, front left seems a popular place to get damage on this car. I've seen a lot of that in the last few races. You see Roy's got that same damage as well. There's not many cars on the track. Only 13 cars on the track, but 4 of them have found the right spot. There you go, that usual. I'm going to see a lot of that tonight, that losing of the back end with a bit of excess throttle. It's so easy to do. Here's the tricky bit. What line do you take? Sometimes I like to go to that right of that that curb there, gives you a better line, but it's a risk-reward effort. If you get it wrong, you stack, but if you get it right, you get a lot better launch into this flat-out section. They're both a bit wide here, but they've kept it off the fence. That's turn 10, where the car really wants to push it to that fence. So Max Wolf taking a very defensive line into the inside here. It's not the fastest way to do it. So Cameron Gilson's got the advantage here. He's got two damaged cars chasing him, so they'll be a bit speed compromised. But doesn't mean that they won't get him. So Max is going to have a good crack here into turn 1, and so is Roy. This may be a 3-wide go into the very tight turn 1. Roy's gone in hard. It's got late on the brakes. Cameron's done well. Oh, yes, very squirrely through there, but they've done well. They've survived. Remember, this is the first race here this week, so everyone's still getting used to the track. This is why it's the Tuesday tune-up. Just check in what's happening at the front. Jansen is staying with Chasty. There really is nothing between these two guys. They keep winning races and competing and getting on podiums every time, so I'm very glad to see them racing each other here, because it's bound to be quite exciting. Really hope Jansen can serve it up to Chasty here. Here's Paul Young. It's a world of his own in third place. He's not under pressure. He's losing ground at the front too. He hasn't quite got the laps in at this track yet, I wouldn't imagine. Otherwise, he wouldn't be too far off the front too. Toby Dykes now cleared well out of Jay Brazier, who's now got a margin on Lee Crowhurst. So the field's spreading out a bit, but I like Cameron Garati. He's not too far off them. And it's a fair gap back to this dicing group of 4, which as they're dicing probably just falling further and further back from the front half of the field, but they're going to have a lot of fun on their own here. So Roy's having a good look into turn 1. This time I think he's got it done. Roy's another one of those drivers that's very much improving. He's racing nearly every race possible, and that seat time's really resulting in a good solid phase of improvement. But Cameron Gilson has fought back very nicely here. Roy thought he had the job done. Job not done. Cameron Gilson's fought back beautifully. Roy will have another go here. Roy's got the better line. He'll get a better launch down the straight here, so he'll have a lot more momentum, I would say. Maybe didn't quite get that right. It's all about how they get around this turn 10 now. Is the tyre life good enough to stay flat through here? Got to get close to this fence on the left to make sure you can get around. Roy had plenty of room. Some nice tight racing through this very tight section of track. Cameron spun the wheels up out of there a bit, so that'll give Roy some incentive to make a move down to this hairpin. Does he have the momentum? No. I think that a bit of damage is probably reducing his ability to do that. Cameron Gilson braked too late and has stuck it into the fence. That's unfortunate. That's unlucky, and he's gassed it up and is having trouble getting it going. I probably shouldn't be watching this. It's not going well. He may have had enough. That was unlucky. Just braked too late. That's what I said. This track is full of areas that you can make errors. It's got so many challenges. We'll see lots of drivers all week making similar errors and other different errors. Like it's like a track full of hazards, and they're all different. But the two top-notch guys, the two form guys of Gen 3 Racing, Supercar Racing, are going head-to-head here. We see Jansen has made ground on Chastity. So it's going to come down to maybe the pit stop, but both of these guys are excellent fuel savers as well, so they'll both be in there for the minimum time fueling because they know how to not use fuel. Jansen may have better opportunities to save fuel by sitting in behind Chastity here. That may give him the chance to jump him at the pit stop, which the pit window is open now, but for the next few laps. But I'd imagine they'll probably divide it halfway and come in at the end of lap 10. But Chastity might jump in a bit earlier to make sure he doesn't get undercut. So that's Chastity's main risk at the moment, getting undercut by Jansen and not being able to get past him, because maybe passing is tricky here when both guys are not making mistakes. Jansen certainly has moved right up to the back of Chastity now. This is the marquee matchup for the Supercar Racing in this season. Both these guys dominating various series. Jansen certainly leading the Tuesday Tune-Up series, this one, by a margin, and also the Manic Monday series, whereas Chastity is leading the Furious Friday series and winning lots and lots of races. Like Chastity came second last night, and he was on a bid for 8 wins in a row, but he came second to Ross Rizzo, who produced a brilliant performance to win at Suzuka last night, so it relegated Chastity to second. And we have a move. Jansen has made the move on Chastity, and it is successful. The switchback is on. Yep, Chastity will have the inside line here. What a battle! This is what we want to see at the front of the field. Like I said, there's not a struck match between these two guys. They are the marquee matchup, the two informed drivers, and both their I ratings are going up and up and up the whole time. And you can see why. They've just cleared out from the rest of these fields. Those drivers in behind are no slouches. If they keep dicing like that, Paul Young might get an opportunity to make some ground. But we want to see more dicing like that. That's fantastic. That was a good effort by Jansen there, but Chastity just held his nerve, kept his cool. Said, no, I'm going to have the better line coming out of this corner because we've gone in too deep. And here we go. Pit stop by Chastity. As I suggested, he'd come in a bit earlier to avoid the undercut. And we'll see how this pans out for him. Sensible driving. I would have done the same. There's no point staying out and getting undercut. Jansen's rolled the dice and say, well, I'll stay out. If I can produce a great lap, anything goes wrong in your pit stop, I'll be getting past you. Cameron Garati coming in as well. So let's go to the front of the pack. Let's see what Jansen is up to. Is he producing this brilliant lap he needs here? This needs to be the best lap of the race for Jansen if he wants to jump Chastity during this pit thing. Now, we've seen Jansen in a few races now really run these first stints long. So he is no good thing to come in at the end of this lap either. He likes running long on his first stints. I suppose the logic there is to come home with a lot better tyres. If he can come home with tyres 2 or 3 laps better than Chastity. That may give him an opportunity for a passing move on the last lap or two. See Paul Young and Jamie Dyke. Jamie Dyke's made good ground on Paul Young. This is the battle for third. This is the place they want the podium finish. Alright, let's see if Jansen comes in. I'm more inclined to think he won't come in. He'll extend this stint as long as he can. We've seen that from him a lot lately, and he'll try and derive some benefit from that. Even though Chastity will be out there now on fresh tyres, going faster than Jansen is at the moment. As we see, Jansen's not taken the pit lane. He's going around again. So he's probably got opportunity. He might extend it out. I think that this pit window stays open to about lap 13 before he runs out of fuel. Maybe lap 14. So now we see the different strategies adopted. We see Pete Simons. It's going well. He's a regular attendee at these races. Always out there having a great time. I think we need more people joining him out here. These races are great fun. Make sure if you get the opportunity to join the Tuesday Tune-Up to do the first race of the week. It has its own challenges. Yeah, it's a great opportunity to get on the new track the new week and have some fun. How's Chastity looking on those fresh tyres? I'd imagine he's absolutely flying now. Now he's racing blind. He doesn't know how fast Jansen's going. I'd imagine he suspects he's going faster than Jansen with his fresh tyres. But he's probably well aware of Jansen's tactic of staying out there longer and maintaining the fresh tyres for later in the race. So Young's staying out for the longest stint as well. Oh no, Young has been in. I stand corrected. It's Jamie Dyke that has stayed out. So Steve Jansen and Jamie Dyke doing the longer run. Here's Jamie Dyke coming in behind Peter Simons here. Jamie currently in second. Fair margin behind Jansen though, 10 seconds behind. It's a massive gap that Jansen's opened up. That just shows the class of Jansen and Chastity. As we know, Jamie Dyke is certainly no slouch. Chastity's enjoying some very free air, but it's a long track with only 13 cars on it tonight, so be unlucky to come across any traffic. Brazier and Crowhurst, they've done their pit stops and now battling for 5th spot. Roy Clark, despite the damage, he's making ground on these guys. Certainly franking that theory that he's improving very fast. That wasn't too steady out of there. Although he hasn't made his pit stop yet. Here he comes. Probably will have a fast repair that he gets in some of his other races, but not this race. No fast repairs in strength of field racing. Here's Chastity taking the more aggressive line through there. Jansen has made his pit stop. It's come out 2.2 seconds behind, but with 2 lap fresher tyres, which is worth a fair bit on these first few laps. So we can expect Jansen to come up behind Chastity again. We'll probably get quite a battle the last few laps. Jamie Dyke's got past Paul Young. Showing some good pace. Maybe learning the circuit as he goes and getting faster and faster. Seems to be moving away, doesn't he? Paul can find his groove and stick with Jamie and get that podium place back. Let's check out the front. I'd imagine that gap is coming down. Jansen is making ground on Chastity. Come on, let's make a race of this. That 2.2 second gap's now down to 1.4. I can imagine Jansen getting up to the back of Chastity here. I can't quite see him getting past though. But like I said, this track is full of traps for mistakes. Chastity doesn't make many, but he only needs to make one to give Jansen his chance. Peter Simons getting out of the way of the leaders. It's nicely done. Didn't want to interfere with this, and we see Jansen's made solid ground again. He's got it within a second, so he's making very fast ground. And these initial laps where his tyres are much, much better, but that advantage will wear off pretty soon. So many races this season across all the four different races they normally go in. They're so often so close to each other on the track. This is no exception. I think if you're a good Supercars driver out there, you should be joining these races, see if you can keep up with these two. They're the benchmark at the moment. And that benchmark is getting higher because they're as good as they are. I believe both of them are improving. But Jansen, he certainly has been a big improver. Chastity has 58 wins in the Gen 3 car since we started the 5 seasons. We're into our 5th season now. Jansen's had 6. So that's quite a difference. They obviously can see the improvement in Jansen, that he can serve it up to Chastity now, despite that massive difference in winning records. But Jansen has been winning lots of races recently. Lots of good races. He had a great week a week and a bit ago at Sebring, holding off drivers of the calibre of Jordan Ross and Sean McNamara. His confidence is sky high, and I mentioned last night, in the race last night at Suzuka, he had great troubles getting past a driver. So he probably needs to work on his passing skills. He's got the pace, but does he have the passing skills? We saw a good move quite a few laps ago, didn't quite come off. Maybe there's another one here. Both of them, to some extent, will still be learning the track. It's so new to everyone. So tricky. So I'd imagine if he just stays there, keeps the pressure on, the window may open. Even if that happens, Chastity ain't going to go anywhere. see the view from Steve's car as he tries to make this move on chassis. There's turn 1. Bit of a tricky chicane, modulate the throttle here, try and get some drive and try and keep it straight. The rear end always wants to get out there. Done well. Now, I love this left right. He's just scraped the fence there. Drive off there. Then cut a lot more of that corner. They're going wide there. You can actually cut more of that. And this one too. Yes, see Jansen's taken the faster line there. And that's why he's got up to the back of Chastity here. But it's really key to come back here at the right point, which Jansen's certainly done. Good drive. Chastity's hit the fence on the right there, and that's normally death. So I don't know how he survived that. So he must have taken his foot right off the throttle to survive that, which gives Jansen probably some momentum coming into the turn here. All the way out there. They're still holding on. Not enough momentum. Now we come into the S-bands and the chicane, twisting and turning. You've got these blind corners. There's this blind little run up through here. Very easy to get an off slow down through there if you just cut too much of that off. So that's something you'll be really aware of. This is a great view from Jansen's car. And Chastity trying to get a bit of a toe there from Luis Gomez, but he's tunneling well out of the way of this battle for the leads. So well played. This corner, it's tough to get that braking right, but so you get this drive. There's only one angle you can take to get the drive through here, but they've both done it beautifully. I imagine there's been a bit of practice done. I don't know how they raced so hard at Suzuka just last night, yet they're already seem very proficient at this tricky Miami track. So we got 3 or 4 laps to go now. Jansen putting as much pressure on Chastity as he can. This is quite the battle. This is what I hope for tonight, and we're getting it. Chastity obviously being in front has the advantage, and Jansen maybe not the strongest passer, but he's certainly not shy about getting close to the rear end. Oh yes, that was close, Steve. My goodness, you've got to be careful. That wall on the right there really juts out and can catch you out. Yeah, Jansen's taken that very nice, and it has more pace in here. This is a big opportunity. He took turn 10 beautifully and has taken the lead. Will Chastity fight back? Yes, he is there. This is the same move as before. And Chastity has fought back there brilliantly. That's great to see Steve making that move. He just got that really good line through line 10, gave him that run into the tight section. But Chastity just held his nerve and just calmly went about his business and held Jansen out again. But Jansen will believe there is hope now, because there's still 3 more attempts at that corner to try that same move again. He's tried it there twice now, hasn't quite worked, but each of those attempts will be lessons learned. Let's see how he goes the next time. Let's get back in the car with him. I've sort of enjoyed that view. Sorry to the other guys that were just ignoring, but this is the battle royale. This is the one. These are the main guys going head to head. Doesn't get any better than this on such a new and challenging track. Oh, that didn't quite work. It didn't quite have the angles right there, and he's hit that curb. Once you drive this track, that curb can be brilliant if you just get far enough to the right of it or far to the left. But there's one point just to the right of it. If you hit it, you're in all sorts of trouble. And that's what Steve found there. So he won't get the run this time because he struggled getting through that section. We're on lap 18. We'll have 2 laps to go once we get back to the start-finish line. So there's 3 more goes through here. Just imagine the calculations going on in Jansen's head, working, where can I get in? Are there any other opportunities apart from coming out of turn 10? Can I get more drive out of here than Chastity to make ground into the hairpin? Appears not this time. Chastity's just driven that beautifully. It's very easy to get your braking mark wrong here and get the turn into this hairpin correct. It's a very tight line, and you have to be very precise with your braking and your trail braking to get this turn right. Jansen's done well. Chastity's okay, but yes, Jansen's done well. Now, throttle modulation here is utmost important because it wants to wiggle and it wants to woggle and it wants to go all over the place. Chastity seems to have done that a bit better this time around. So Jansen too far back for a turn 1 move. 2 laps to go. That's a good save. So this track, there's a lot of saving going on. Look, you're always on the edge on the throttle. You're really using the throttle to turn. You're modulating the throttle, trying to use as much as you can because the rear end wants to slip out the whole time. Yeah, I really feel both of them could take more of that, cut more of that corner and this corner. They're both not maximising that. Maybe check out my demo videos, guys. Just a bit embarrassing giving my I rating compared to these guys. There we go. That's what turn 10 can do, especially with older tyres. He had to come off the throttle there. The car wanted to push into the wall. So he's lost his opportunity here. He was brilliant at turn 10 a few laps ago. That was not good. So he's giving Chastity a bit of fresh air with 1.5 laps to go. Yeah, that wasn't quite the right line. But that's better. He can get some drive here. But Chastity's got perfect drive out of there as well. Jansen now with that little bit of lost a bit of touch with Chastity here, so probably relying on a mistake for Chastity now to give Jansen a chance. Don't think I've seen mistakes from Chastity, not at this corner, which is one of the main areas for mistakes for me, certainly, for all my practice this week. But yeah, they've done well. Yeah, Jansen's lost momentum through there. That whole section is about slowly building momentum and not getting the car squirrely. You just want to slowly build through there. Obviously a lot harder to do now that their tyres are older. So we're into the last lap now. It all comes down to this epic battle tonight here at the first race at Miami. Losing there. I think they'll learn during the course of the week they can take a straighter line through those corners. Alright, so he's lined him up to get himself to get turn 10 right. He's done it right this time. Hasn't pushed all the way to the wall because he attacked from the left a bit better that time. But yeah, hasn't got up the inside of Chastity here, but he's in a position to put pressure on. Real careful modulation of the throttle here, and you want to drive through this little section here to throw it to the left here, all the way out to the right, and just get that momentum up through this section, and the sharp right, and a bit of throttle. Yes, they're doing wonderfully. It's exciting. He's right there. Now he needs to drive out of here. That's fantastic driving by Jansen. He's giving himself a chance into the final hairpin as we come up to the finish line. We might go back to the TV1 view just to watch the finish of this race, because this is very exciting. Does Jansen have a move in him? He's having a look. Is he going to pull it up? Oh, Chastity's seen him coming. And it's... Wow! Chastity's gone wide. He's hit the wall. Jansen's got the run. Jansen's got the line. Don't tell me he's taken the move. He's got Chastity. Unbelievable move. There, wins to Jansen. He's taken Chastity at the last section. What a fantastic win. My goodness, what a race. Well done, guys. It's a massive gap back to third place. Jamie Dyke now coming into the home straight. Oh, wow, I've got to catch my breath. I really love watching those guys race. I wanted to see them race, and that was actually more than I hoped for. So Paul Young into fourth place. Big gaps, third and fourth. Unlike between first and second, we see Jay Brazier in fifth. I'm talking really fast now due to that level of excitement. And we see Lee Crowhurst out in his own in sixth. Just making his way home quite neatly. Peter Simons is a lap down. He'll come home in 10th position. Cameron Garati, he's coming home in 7th. It's a nice race by him for his first race at this track. He's been doing some very good racing of late. He's a man putting in a lot of seat time, and when we see people putting in seat time like this, we see them improve quickly. So we're really looking forward to that from Cameron. Here's Roy. Roy's got turned around and lap one of the turn one of the race. Has been battling the whole race ever since. So this is one of Roy's lesser results, but I'm sure he'll bounce back later in the week for some big results. Well done, Steve Jansen. Well, what a race that was. Let's have a look at the results sheet, see what it tells us, and it says Steve Jansen by 0.23, but it might as well have been 1,000th of a second. It was such a brilliant race. Jamie Dyke third, Paul Young fourth. Yeah, very, very extended margins here. We see Cameron Gilson hasn't finished the race. We saw him sort of miss his braking marker into the hairpin. That was a great race. So might say goodbye for that. Look forward to races later in the week. Make sure you join us. Make sure you get in and compete. They're amazing fun. Miami's challenging but awesome fun. Get some practice. Check out my setup and demo laps in the Pete VDK Discord. Join the fun in there. And bye for now.